business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Fleximize, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Fleximize, let's fund your goals.
Hello and welcome back to Matchday Preview Live, streaming on X, YouTube, Facebook and Town TV. Proudly brought to you by our headline digital partner, Fleximize, the UK's award-winning lender offering fast, flexible business loans. It's a big one here at Portman Road as Ipswich Town take on West Bromwich Albion, and the atmosphere is already building as fans pour in for their second home game of the week. Coming up, we'll discuss team news, key club updates and get an insight on today's opponents. Plus, all the latest on Town Women, a preview of Fabio Wardley's fight and plenty of analysis and opinions from our guests as we build up to kick-off. And as always, we want to hear from you. Send us your predictions, thoughts and opinions in the live chat or use Town TV, the hashtag, to get involved in today's show. Yes, welcome to Portman Road. We are set for another blockbuster game in the Championship, and we've got two fantastic guests alongside me. Town Women's Manager Joe Sheehan and, of course, Town TV commentator and former Blue Ian Westlake. Guys, great to have you with us. As we know in the Championship, the schedule is relentless, but when you're coming off the back of two defeats, how important is it to get to that next game as soon as possible?
Yeah, it can have its positives. I think the manager mentioned the week before that if you can win the last game before the international break, sometimes you feel you want another game, but also it's good to ensure you win that game before you have a bit of a break. But I think we know the Championship games come thick and fast, and yeah, there's always another game around the corner to respond to a defeat, and we have that opportunity today.
Wesley, it was a disappointing night on Tuesday, but how much will it help that the next game is here at Portman Road in front of the fantastic fans?
Yeah, it was rubbish, wasn't it? I've had everyone all week. I don't know why it's my fault. You go out, you talk to people locally, they were moaning, they hated the game. There were positives, right? We had 30 shots, we were talking earlier, 64% possession, there were some good bits. It's great to be home and playing another one quickly, because you just want to get over it. Everyone's memory is very short in football. They forget the manager's got 2 promotions in the last 3 years, things like this, and they'll forget that we lost 3-0 as soon as we go and win it today.
As a manager, Joe, when you're coming off the back of a couple of defeats, how difficult is it to sort of lift spirits in camp?
I think it depends on your culture and the standards that you drive day to day, and I think we all know now our manager's so well balanced, and we know that the team have really strong processes, so regardless of whether they win or they don't, I think we get a good consistency from the group, and that sets them up well to turn up to perform as best as they can today.
And it was a bit of an anomaly result, wasn't it, on Tuesday night?
You hope so. It's crazy though, when they talk about process and all these things, so different from when I played. We'd have been called in the next day and you had to sit and watch the whole 90 minutes and they'll point out every mistake. It's now, whether you'd won or lost, it's the same process, it's the same procedure, and you get ready for the next one, and probably better for that.
Well, sorry to do this, Wesley, but we are going to take a look at those key moments from that defeat against Charlton on Tuesday night. Let's take a look at some of the action.
Well, no more than Ipswich would have deserved from the way they've played. They find the quality from this set piece. Clark's delivery, and it was Greaves who was up, and he puts it over the bar. Behind him was O'Shea. He brings it under his spell and beats the Charlton defender. Ivan Azon gets to the edge of the box, pulls it back to Akpom. Oh, he's hit the bar! Be in the lead, but they're not at the moment. And Ashley Young, he's been beaten here, and Ola Ofe might be in on goal. Saved by Walton, big save at the end of this first half. But Azon has done well there, and it drops for Akpom. Akpom charging forward. He's got half the Charlton team with him, and Nunez does line it up. Oh, it's not far over at all. It's a lovely first touch back to Davis. Thought he might shoot there, Leif Davis. Instead, Clark shovels that one in. Akpom's up! And how has that gone wide? And all Charlton do is wallop it away, but Davis has headed that back invitingly here for Sonny Carey. Carey running. He might get beyond. He does. He scored. Great. And the fact that that goal came so quickly after Akpom's chance at the other end. But here are Charlton full of life and shooting from distance. Oh, Walton has managed only as far as Carey. And now Coventry picks out Carey, whizzes across the face of goal. Great save, but headed in on the rebound. Had a little coming together. He might still get it, Casey McAteer. He does. Crossed in. Azon's there. Nunes swings it in. Greaves kind of chips that towards the goal. Davis, that's a good hit. Must be in. Is in. And Ipswich have the immediate reply, but now the flag goes up. This ball has popped out. Campbell, did he keep that in play? He did. And Charlton have a third. Hurst picks out Akpom. Lovely first touch. Releases Clark. Hurst in the middle. He'll get there, George Hurst. One touch to control. Might fall for Philogene. As O'Shea finds Nunes. Final whistle goes. And Ipswich's winning run at home comes to an end.
Yeah, it was a tough night at Portman Road on Tuesday, but as Westy, you said there was quite a lot of positives to take out of it. 67% possession, 16 corners, 30 shots. Was it just one of those days where the ball wouldn't go into the back of the net?
Probably a bit more to it than that. First half, we should score, right? Akpom, I think 22-23 season, 28 goals, top scorer in the Championship, and just doesn't seem to fall to him at the moment. Should have scored twice in the first half, and then once we conceded the first goal, we were just so open. We went at them, we really wanted to get back in the game, and at times we left ourselves man v man at the back. We just, at times at the moment, look very open, and it's not like a Kieran McKenna team.
Kieran mentioned it in his press conference about a reaction that when the team does go behind, how the players turn things around. Joe, I'm sure you've been in that position before. What can the manager do from the sideline when the team does go 1-0 down?
Well, it's not something new to us. Obviously, it's a lot of new players in the group that are still finding their feet together. But yeah, I think the performance in general wasn't probably the worst we've seen. Perhaps the frustration comes from the timings of the 3 goals and not being able to respond well enough to certainly the first or the second, and probably influenced by similarities at Middlesbrough as well that probably adds to a little bit more frustration. But yeah, I think you only get better at those things when you experience them, and it's not always great to experience them, obviously, but hopefully, over the course of the season that the team will be better for it.
Yeah, Charlton had a quite impressive dribble success rate as well, 75% compared to Town's 46%. Is there a time where having too much of the ball and not being as direct with it can go, detriment you?
Yeah, a lot of teams will come here, they'll sit in and they'll counter on us. The longer it takes us to score the goal, you grow in confidence, you start committing more bodies forward, and as we did that, we just left more spaces. When they broke on us, we were so open, crazy amounts of space we've left behind, and it's not the first time Middlesbrough was the same, so I expect to see it quite different today.
And at the back, we lost Alex Palmer quite early on in that game. How much can that sort of disrupt things from the side and on the pitch?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, Christian Walton is such an important part of the squad, and I think he's proved on many occasions, whether it be in League One or filling in Premier League, I think he's more than capable, and he's come in and played well whenever he's been called upon. So yeah, I'm sure that might have perhaps challenged the planning around the substitutions, because obviously you lose one pretty early on and it impacts them being able to make one later on in the game. But yeah, in terms of Christian stepping in now for the next few weeks or however long, absolutely more than capable, and no doubt he'll perform really well.
As I said earlier, it's a bit of an anomaly of a result, 3-0. With the quick turnaround, is there much time to look back at this game? As you say, you when you go back, as players, you watch games, you watch the mistakes, but with the fast turnaround, do you think Town had that time this week, or put it to bed and then straight on to West Brom?
I think it depends, and I use an example from us a little bit. We got really beaten by Birmingham a few weeks ago, and we decided not to evaluate the goals. We didn't discuss the goals as a group, and we looked at perhaps the trends that contributed to us being in a position where we didn't help ourselves in putting ourselves in those situations where the goals were conceded. So yeah, I think it can be different. Depends what the group need. But as I say, it can be done in many different ways, whether you sit players down individuals, in units, or as a collective, to try and work out how you get the best response, and you learn from it.
Is that something you'd like to have happened, Westy, when you were playing, not to look at any errors and mistakes? Did you make many?
I don't know, as long as they show you the good stuff and the bad stuff. Is when you sit down, it's just all negative. That's a tough one to watch. But this is what's crazy now compared to when I played. They will have them with clips at half time. They have analysts up there cutting things together. They sit next to us in the commentary. They're cutting things together. They'll show them spaces, things they could have done better at half-time on iPads. It's quite different to how it used to be.
Well, the previous meeting between Ipswich Town and West Bromwich Albion here in February 2024 produced a very entertaining 2-2 draw. Let's look back at some of that action.
Here's Vyman, plays it forward towards Tom Fellows. Wolfenden is battling with the 20-year-old. Fellows into the penalty area, beyond Wolfenden, and Fellows into the near post. Gets the beating of Wolfenden. Once he was in the penalty area, Wolfenden couldn't touch him, and it's a clinical finish from the 20-year-old. So it's Clark off the long run, throwing one towards Keeper Moore inside the West Brom penalty area. Loose ball drops for Clark and he heads it back into a dangerous area. Edmonton rising, and Broadhead scores! What a start to the second half for Ipswich Town! And it's Nathan Broadhead in space at the back post, taking his opportunity, and that is exactly what the 28,500 Ipswich supporters wanted to see. Ipswich 1, West Brom 1. Now it's West Brom on attack with John Swift, Moat supporting. Townsend racing down the left-hand side to join in, but it's Swift with the effort, and it's beaten Ludke. John Swift from range. Just good goalkeeper. In comes the corner towards Moore, loose ball, drop for Morsey inside the D. Morsey, it's deflected effort, falls for Hutchinson. It's got... Yeah! Supporting is Hutchinson, no! It's through the bodies and into the back of the net! There is a late equaliser for Omari Hutchinson. It's a wonderful strike. High drama here at Portman Road. Play still not done. Hutchinson, Harness will clip it across goal towards Clark. It's headed away again by the West Brom defence, and then the final whistle does blow. That's going to be all, folks, unfortunately. Full time here at Portman Road. Ipswich 2, West Brom 2.
A very entertaining draw at Portman Road. I can't help but listen to your screams, Westy, when Town hit the back of the net. Hopefully you'll be doing that this afternoon. Both sides coming off a defeat in midweek, Westy. And there's a lot of Town players that used to play for West Brom as well, so they'll have a point to prove. But how much extra pressure does that put on both sides?
There's pressure in every game now. Like, the pressure's ramped up. It's a championship game. It's live on Sky. Everyone wants to perform. It's not really as simple as, oh, it's pressure just because we've lost. It's just always pressure. They're under it all the time. It's 9 changes again. It's crazy. They'll be desperate, just if anything, just to prove their points and they stay in the team, because it's really hard to win a place and keep it in an Ipswich Town team at the moment.
Sort of mentioned it at the top of the show, Joe, about the home advantage, but do you think that could play a big part today, coming off the back of the defeat? Because if we were on the road, obviously we're well supported on the road as well, but just being at home, the sun is now shining. It's a beautiful afternoon to put things right. Yeah,
potentially, and I think, you know, supporters have always come with a new energy to support the team at the start of games, so there's certainly an opportunity today to start really bright, really fast, to get the crowd on side early, and hopefully I think getting an early goal would be very useful for us as well, just kind of settle that down. And yeah, it's obviously sunshine, it's a beautiful day, it's on Sky, and hopefully a really exciting game awaits.
Wes, did you echo that? Do you think Town will start fast this afternoon?
Yeah, I do. I think maybe slightly cautious, just because we keep getting caught on the counter. We can't go too quickly. Having watched those clips, you see Broadhead and Hutchinson score, and you see the stadium's on absolute fire. I just think at the moment we're looking for some heroes. Like, we had such a bond between the fan and the players. We had a lot of people leave, and the atmosphere is great, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite there yet. I think there's going to be a moment like the Philogene hat-trick where we take them into a hut, something where, like a Smodic or a Hurst, somebody to do something where the fans start to buy in a bit more, because right now there's been such a change in personnel that I feel like the connection's not quite what it was the last couple of seasons, and it will take a special result to sort of start that bond off again.
Ashley Young mentioned it in a press conference interview, saying that the players and that don't look at the league table. As we know, fans, they do. And Town are probably not where we all expected they would be, but they have to focus on the next game. It's the classic one game at a time, isn't it, Joe? But that's the mentality that the players have got to have.
Yeah, and I think it's always been that way, certainly the last 2-3 years. So yeah, be taking each day as it comes, trying to work hard and be as best as you can be each day, each game. And hopefully as a consequence of that, the results and the performances take care of themselves. And I think this team and this club have proved previously that they can, win games and win a lot of them in succession.
One change that we know that was enforced was the injury to Alex Palmer. Christian Walton comes in. Westy, it's probably the greatest thing we could have really is a sub-goalie that knows exactly how this team plays, has worked with Kieran for so many years and can just slot straight into that number one position.
Yeah, like you say, it'll be easy for him. He's done it many times. Probably thinks he should play more. He's a really, really high quality goalkeeper, deserves time on the pitch, and he's got his chance now. And it's one of those. I remember the season that he actually started in goal in League One, and Vladke was a backup. Ends up getting a couple of games and then plays the whole season. So there's no real reason that Christian can't do the same if he gets a good run in the team, that he keeps his place.
Joe, it must be a manager's nightmare trying to keep a whole squad of 18 players happy. But how do you keep a goalkeeper happy, knowing that there is only one jersey available?
I think it's the department as a whole. I think Reg, with the leading the goalkeepers, I think being able to develop to a really high level every day keeps everybody engaged, and I know they do that. I think there's a tremendous amount of work that goes into the goalkeepers, and I think when you keep them infused, when there's an opportunity to keep developing day in, day out, and therefore be ready for your opportunity, that when it comes up, you're ready to take the shirt and grab it, and that probably makes it a little bit easier to keep the goalkeepers on board.
I watched a podcast with Ben Foster who was talking about goalkeepers and doing exactly what Christian had to do on Tuesday night, having that mental strength that after 25 minutes, when you're not expected to play at all, you're expected to do what you do on the bench, but to have that mental strength as a goalkeeper is something that Christian will have in abundance.
Yeah, they're just weirdos, right? Goalies are nuts.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, I did. They're a different breed to everyone else. Like you said, Reg, you meet Reg, he's a brilliant guy. Most fun you'll have out of any of the coaches at the training ground. They're in their own little niche. They go off and do their own training sessions, but they're full of energy, they're full of life, and they know the role. Like, he knew when he signed up to be a goalie that he would have times where he has to sit, times where he has to come in. Yeah, they're special guys, but they do a brilliant job. And I wouldn't want the ball to be kicked at 70 mile an hour. Do you know what I mean? Like they have to be a bit special when they are.
Well, another special guy is Sam Schmodix, who we are sort of just waiting for it to kick into gear this season, because we know he can score goals in the Championship. He was top goal scorer not that long ago. Wesley, what is it you like about his play so far this season?
I like everything. So this year we're playing quite a different formation. We haven't got two 10s. We haven't got a Chappers and Boardhead sitting in behind a striker. We've got one guy playing off a big man, so at times it goes into George. And the best thing he does is his runs. He runs off the ball. He's not a ball carrier. He makes really, really smart runs, times his runs well. And you see these chances, he gets loads of chances. And they're just hitting the post, they're just squirming wide, they're being saved. Another one, he runs off his defender into little space. He runs between centre-halves, which is such a hard run. The centre-halves, they don't like little guys running off of them. Again, run off the ball, doesn't quite get it this time. He's lively, it's just a matter of time. I think he got 27 goals a couple of years ago in the Championship. It will come, and I'm hoping when we say we want to look for heroes, maybe Sammy could be a little folk hero. He's local, he's back in the area. I'd love him to start banging goals and be like that maybe the new Chappers for us.
Well, hopefully he can get on the score sheet today. And last week I was lucky enough to interview Fabio Wardley and Wes Burns ahead of that blockbuster fight tonight at the O2. Here's what happened when I met Fabio Wardley and Wes Burns in the squared circle.
How much are you looking forward to getting back into the ring?
It's a huge fight, huge occasion. I love the O2 Arena as well. Fantastic venue for boxing. It's a proper cauldron. Once you get 20,000 fans in there, they're all on top of each other, and a big fight like we've got on the night. It's everything you need for something dramatic.
How do you feel when you cross that white line in the stadium of Portman Road with those fans?
Such a mad feeling, like all the emotions that run through your body, like pre-game and stuff, like the fans are singing, they want you all to do well, they want the team to win and stuff. That sort of surge of adrenaline before the game is if you could bottle it up and sell it, you'd be a millionaire.
So I got the full impact of everything once I did my ring walk, and just stepping up onto that stage, the lights, cameras, action, the pyros were going off, and just looking out into that sea of people, yeah, it was special.
When you threw that punch, did you know you had him in trouble?
Everything in your body just moves as it should. You hit the moment on the spot and it just feels so smooth, and I hit him. I knew by the felt I felt from my hand, I was like, this has done damage.
What goes through your mind when you produce something so spectacular in front of a crowd that absolutely adore you?
I think you can actually tell by my celebration on that one. I was like, oh my God, have I actually just done that? And then I was like, how do I celebrate? I think I did about 5 celebrations in one. It was wild.
The club's motto, running towards adversity, that is something that you literally do every time you step inside the ring. How much do those words mean to you?
They mean everything. I think I maybe take the motto a little bit too seriously with some of my fights and the way I go about my work sometimes, kind of just running into punches and trying to steamroll through opponents.
When you signed for the club, did you expect that you would be wearing a Premier League jersey so quickly?
To be fair, no. Obviously, I knew the club had massive ambitions when I signed, obviously. The main goal when I signed was like, let's get our League One and let's establish ourselves as a good championship outfit. And then for obviously us to go, you know, League One champ to Prem, I was like, flipping out, we've done that pretty quick.
And for you, Fabio, did you think you would be one knockout punch away from a potential huge blockbuster against someone like Alexander Usyk?
Especially not at the beginning of my career, especially not when I started. When I got into professional boxing, I was just happy to be here. I was just happy to be a part of the game. Things have just progressed and just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And like you say, me doing well and then shoulder to shoulder with the club, with Wes and the boys and things, and everyone just looking to your left and right and seeing everyone doing so well. It was such a good vibe and good emotion.
Big thanks to Fabio Wardley and Wes Burns, and everyone here at Town is wishing Fabio Wardley the best of luck tonight in his heavyweight clash against Joseph Parker, which starts at 8 p.m. at the O2. There are still some tickets available, so if you are available to get down there, please go and support Fabio Wardley. If not, it is exclusively live on the Zone pay-per-view. Fabio Wardley, a bit like the football club Westy, has been on this trajectory the last 18 months. How brilliant is it to have someone flying the flag for Ipswich Town in boxing?
Yeah, it's incredible just to have superstars linked with the club. We've got Ed Sheeran, got a heavyweight boxer. It's fantastic, and I wish Fabio all the best tonight. I hope he knocks someone else's head off like he normally does.
On the topic of flying the flag, that is exactly what Joe Sheehan and his Town women team have been doing for years. Joe, we always knew it was going to be a difficult season in the WSL2, but how much are you enjoying the challenge and what have you learned so far?
Yeah, it's enjoyable. Yeah, it's very challenging. We're working really hard every day, every week to prepare for games. Games that are much more challenging than last year. But yeah, we're thriving. You know, we're enjoying the processes. We're taking each game as it comes, and we're giving the best account of ourselves as possible. We'd like to have a few more points on the board, but yeah, we've got an international break now, gives us a chance just to reflect on the first quarter. We're looking forward to returning now and finishing the year strongly up until January.
The club has had so much success over the last year, especially with that promotion. With it being slightly different this season, how do you change the mindset of the players who are used to winning week in, week out comfortably, and now much tougher tests lie ahead?
Yeah, I don't think that's been too difficult. I think we've got a real humble group, first and foremost, a group that don't expect to just turn up and win. And really balanced personalities as well. You know, players accept that, you know, you're not going to perhaps get what you always want out of games, but certainly working as hard as you can, training as hard as you can, preparing as best as you can, and pouring it all out on a game day. And if it can be enough to win games and pick up points, and we'll know we've worked really hard for it.
And you must be really proud because we've got 4 players on international duty this week. Megan Waring, Grace Neville, Natasha Thomas and Natalia Negri. How proud are you as a manager as well to help with their development to be put onto the international stage?
Yeah, super proud. I mean, we've always had players that are representing internationals, national teams at youth age groups. As our group gets a little bit more older and experienced, we're now sort of seeing players play international football at senior ages. So yeah, it's great for Tash to continue with Jamaica. We have Grace Neville now, who's in Mexico, I think, with New Zealand. And they play in the United States next week in Kansas. So yeah, Natalia Negri in England's under 23s, and Megan with Scotland. So yeah, it's great to track them and see them playing in really, really high level games that hopefully helps them when they return.
Wesley, you've seen the development of the women's game up close, and everything that you do with the football club is absolutely fantastic. How big a step is it for the football club moving into the WSL2?
It's huge. It's huge. What Joe's doing, what the club are doing to support the women is incredible. And I know that there was talk about them moving away from Felix, so they had to because of the side of the stadium, but we went down to Colchester. Go and get yourself down to Colchester. Honestly, it's brilliant how they set up behind the stand. There's all things for the kids to do. You go in, you watch the match, get brilliant games. Just get yourself down there. It's really good. Go and see them, go and support them, because you'll have a great time.
And how important is it for the academy that there's a pathway to the senior women's team as well now?
Yeah, it's fantastic. A lot of the girls that go and support, a lot of the people up at Colchester watching the games are girls that are in the programme. I coach the 14s girls, and they're such a talented group. Like, I can't wait to give them to Joe in a few years' time and let them loose with them, because it's nice to have like a pipeline, and we see the way they play. We try and copy things they do. There's just something they can go and look at. And it used to be the only place you'd go and watch is men's football, but it's unbelievable for them to have local heroes that they can go and watch that are also women.
Yeah, well, Town's under-21 team are also producing on the pitch. They are top of the Premier League too, so good luck to them for the rest of this season. And of course, we'll be supporting Joe's team as they take on Newcastle next Sunday. But now back to the action here at Portman Road. We can now hear from the Ipswich Town manager, Kieran McKenna.
Because we spoke this time last week about enjoying the aftermath of the derby the following week and the kind of good vibes that came with that. Obviously, it's chalk and cheese that what you've experienced over the last few days. So how does that impact on you?
That's normal. That's the job. It's not my first rodeo on that, either at this club or at previous clubs. So of course you enjoy everything. The sun shines a little bit brighter whenever you win your games, and when you don't win your games, it's a little bit more cloudy. But I've been a coach now for a long time, a manager for a good amount of games as well. I think it's one area that I'm pretty good at, to be honest, of staying balanced, of staying on an even keel with how we keep the atmosphere here, with how we treat people, managing to separate it from other parts of your life as best as possible. And you can only control what comes next, and that's your response. That's how hard you work and how you battle for the next training session, for the next game. And that's pretty well ingrained in me now. So I'd like to think I deal with the bad days as well as possible.
So the next challenge then, West Brom this Saturday lunchtime, managed by a former teammate, Ryan Mason?
Somewhere in the middle. So Ryan was an excellent youth team player. When I came out of the reserves and finished with my injury, so he was in the group that, as I said before, I went pretty much straight from playing to coaching. And when I went straight to coaching, he was in the youth team group, a really exceptional youth team group that I went, straight into helping out with on crutches. So I don't think I will have played a game with him. I won't say I was imparting too much wisdom on him at that stage of my coaching career, but was around helping him with sessions and games. And I think we went to a tournament as well where I was one of the coaching staff and he was a player. So known him for quite a long time. Good guy. Was a really good player, has been a good coach, and I'm sure will be a good manager.
The thoughts of the Ipswich Town manager, Kieran McKenna, there now. As we said earlier on, there are 9 changes to the team that took on Charlton on Tuesday night, so I think it's about time we spend some time looking at all those that are now in the starting 11. Obviously, the one in goal that we mentioned, Alex Palmer, is out for a few weeks with a calf injury, so in comes Christian Walton. It's Davis, Keeper, Matasiwa, Waller Egley, Hurst, Jaden Philogene, Jack Taylor, Darnell Furlong, Sam Schmoddix and Dara O'Shea. One that we want to pick out that we spoke off air, Westy, was Jack Taylor getting his first start since August. A great opportunity for him in the middle of the park.
Yeah, big opportunity. I think Jens has been doing really well in there, but he's struggled sometimes. The Championship, you drift past 1 or 2 and you think, oh, what a hell of a player he looks, and then he gets smashed by a third one. It's a really ferocious league. And Taylor's British, he's used to it, he knows these leagues. Like, he didn't play much in the Prem, but the Championship and League One, he's very effective. So I think he suits it a bit more of a combative midfielder. And he'd be desperate for his chance. There's 4 midfielders now. Nunez has been getting a sniff. Matasiwa's nailed his place down, and I think it's who plays with him. And I think it's Taylor's chance today to really go and say, I want that spot and I'm going to make it mine.
Well, Matasiwa is back from his suspension, plays alongside Jack Taylor in the middle of the park. How much of a miss was he on Tuesday night? And it's good to see him straight back into the starting 11.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was the first game adapting to the Championship. There's no tougher places to go to try and perform in your first game than Birmingham. But I think since then he's absolutely grown into the position wonderfully and been a huge asset to the team. So yeah, disappointing obviously to lose him through suspension, but back in the team today, and hopefully we'll kick on where we left off and cement that place and keep performing and playing an important part of the group.
3 of the back 4, Westy, have once played for West Bromwich Albion: Dara O'Shea, Cedric Kipre and Darnell Furlong most recently. Will they have an extra 5% to put one over their old club?
Always. Always. You go back to your old club and you're just like, look, I love this place, I loved it when I was here, but you want to go and put one over them. Like, why did they let me go? Why didn't they give me a new contract? You always have a point to prove. It's it's lovely to score against your old team. And I'd like to see Kipre, who looks a real threat on set piece. He's already scored against Norwich, so he's already written his name in folklore. But yeah, I think he could go and threaten at both ends.
Another point to prove will be George Hurst up top. We're struggling to find the goals at the minute. A bit like Sam Schmolix, you feel like once he gets one, the next one will just come. It's not quite clicked for him yet, but another opportunity today in front of a packed out crowd will be right behind him to go and get that goal.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, his work ethic is tremendous, and I remember watching him a couple of games ago, and he was just pressing absolutely everything, and really pours a lot into the game from an out of possession perspective. And I also think, once he's pressed the goalkeeper, he's got to get back onside again, and if he's linking up play, with his feet in lower positions, he's then got to run 40-50 yards to get in the box. So I think he's putting in a lot of work, sometimes unnoticed, I guess. That's also helping the rest of the team thriving around him. But I'm sure he'll want to score more goals, and there's no doubt that he's got the capability at a level to get himself into good positions and score a lot of goals this season.
Well, it is a squad game, so let's take a look at Town's bench for this afternoon's game against West Bromwich Albion. Westy off yet. We were talking about how Town have got 2 teams essentially, but one big squad. There's plenty of attacking threat on that bench should we need it.
Yeah, crazy amount of threat. You've got Ashley Young, who might come in defensively, but he offers just quality of passing, crosses from deep. Then you obviously see Akpom scores a lot of goals, Zon, Nunez, and then my favourite's Clark. Like, I just can't see at the moment how you can get Clark and Philogene in the same team, but they're probably the 2 best left-sided players in the Championship, and we've got them both. So yeah, when called upon, I think he's already scored 4 goals this season. He'll be a massive threat if we need him.
Yeah, I thought Jack Clark had a really good game on Tuesday night, and obviously be disappointed to be on the bench, but as we know that he will get some minutes probably this afternoon and can make a real impact.
Yeah, I think it was really positive, certainly positive with the ball midweek, and it just so happens that he's competing for a position at the moment with Jaden, who's scored so many goals at home, so banging form. But then equally, I wouldn't be surprised to see the both of them, both playing this starting team over the course of the season. Obviously, it just depends whether the manager feels they're best suited.
So with your manager's hat on then, if this was your team, how do you get them both in? Do you chuck him in the 10 instead of Smodic, Clark?
Possibly. I think there's a lot to it. Again, I'm not privy to the preparation and how we're actually going to beat West Brom and what threats they pose and their shape, because there's always things like that I think you must take into consideration. But certainly if they're both in form, it can be at the forefront of your mind that how do you get 2 players banging form in the same team, and if it's able to expose the opposition threats, then yeah, I'm sure it'll be considered.
So that is your Town starting 11. Time to turn our attention to the visitors at West Brom, and to take us through their lineup, we're going to head over to our lead commentator for today's game, Ollie Wilson.
Yeah, thanks very much, Curly. A very good afternoon. You do the good guys, I'll do the bad guys. There's 2 changes for West Bromwich Albion from their loss to Watford in the week. Josh Griffiths is still between the posts, and Nat Phillips and Chris Mepham as the centre-backs have started every single league game this season. The changes come in at full-back. Charlie Taylor on the left and George Campbell slots in onto the right side of defence. Usman Diakite and Alex Mowat will anchor the midfield, while Samuel Eiling Jr. and Mikey Johnston will provide the threat from the flanks. Onar Hegerberg will lead the attack, but it's Isaac Price to watch out for, who will sit just off him in a number 10 role. He started every game this season, has 2 in the league and 5 goals in the league campaign so far. As for the substitutes bench for West Bromwich Albion, well, the 2 players that were dropped from midweek, Callum Stiles and Alfie Gilchrist, will start from the bench, but it is the attacking options on the bench that will perhaps be a threat later on. The experience of Carlin Grant. Josh Madger's got 1 goal in his 9 appearances in the league this season, and Daryl DK came back from injury that's hindered his start to the season in midweek off the bench, and the American will be eager to get the goal-scoring opportunity in the Sky Bet Championship once more. That is the starting lineup and the substitutes bench for West Bromwich Albion today. Back down to you guys, pitch side.
Thank you, Ollie. Looking forward to hearing you on commentary alongside Westy. Good luck there, you've got your hands full. Right, well, earlier on, Jacob Henderson caught up with Town's midfield maestro Jack Taylor ahead of today's clash.
Jack, appreciate you talking to us. What do you and the lads want to show as you look to bounce back from Tuesday's defeat?
Yeah, obviously we need a positive reaction to the game and get Portman Road back to winning ways.
That is the thing. Portman Road's been a good place for you guys in recent times this season, and that's what you want to show again.
Yeah, of course. We know what the fans bring to the team. They're our 12th man, so yeah, just bringing the energy throughout the whole stadium, and hopefully we get a positive result.
What do you expect from West Brom today?
Obviously, really tough side. They've started off the season quite well, so obviously a difficult test, but I think we're ready for it.
Your partner in Azor, Matchday in midfield as well. What can you guys do to help each other this afternoon?
Yeah, just bring nice control to the game and give our forward lads the ball as much as we can, and obviously defend as a team, and hopefully we get a clean sheet and a positive result.
Good luck, Tails.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
The thoughts of Jack Taylor, who starts in midfield for the first time since the game against Preston in August. We're getting ever closer to kick-off. The atmosphere is certainly building. We need a reaction. How do we get that reaction today, Joe?
I think, like we said earlier, a fast start. I think start really fast. Get after West Brom really early. Try and put some good bits of work together with the ball. Create some chances. Get the atmosphere really flowing, and obviously hopefully capitalise on those chances when they arise, and yeah, I think that gives us the best opportunity of putting in a really good performance and hopefully a convincing win.
On the pitch is Ipswich versus West Brom. In the dugout it's Ryan Mason versus Kieran McKenna, two young managers who probably know each other quite well from their links with Spurs. How much can the game be decided as well from the substitutions on the bench?
Yeah, massively decided, especially on a day like today. West Brom, they'll come. I think they'll be really compact 4-4-2. Their distancing's brilliant. They'll sit in and we'll have a lot of possession and we'll have chances again. And we've just got that awkward habit at the moment of not taking our chances. So if we don't take them, we'll turn to the bench. And it could be someone like Clark or Azon. I'm still waiting for Azon to get his first goal. I think that would just set this place alight. He seems to be a fan favourite already. So yeah, something from him would be nice.
One thing I have noticed, Joe, this season, in the warm-up behind us, Town are working on some defensive set pieces. Is that something that we're seeing more of now in the Championship as football progresses year on year? Because I've not seen that before.
No, I think I first picked it up last year. I think Man United, were the first sort of team to see do it.
Great example.
And yeah, I'm not sure how common it is in the Championship, but yeah, I think what we do know is set plays play a really important part in games now, and perhaps there just to reinforce, make sure everybody's tuned in, everyone knows their roles, and get the timing, the distances, the execution right, that can hopefully help you defend your goal and score some at the other end.
Wesley, I suppose it's about getting those final touches, those final bits of instructions to make sure that when that Town team do come out there in front of this fantastic crowd, they are ready to put on a performance.
Yeah. Footballers are creatures of habit, right? So just going through it one or two more times before you actually play, you just nail those things down. If they have conceded a few too many from set pieces, so it might be people forgetting their roles or not doing things quite right. So it just, yeah, one more time you get it in their head, but it's only defensive ones, right? You're not going to give away your secrets of what you're going to do on attacking plays before you kick off the game.
And that's where, like, I used to wonder whether you're giving a bit too much away, but in this day and age, everyone knows everything about everybody. So yeah, I'm sure what we're doing now doesn't surprise West Brom, because they're probably anticipating it to look like that anyway.
Do you ever think as a manager then you do a sneaky set piece routine that you're not going to do in the game, so that they might be watching it and then they set up differently to how they might?
Possibly. I think we've certainly had examples of changing our shape from a back four to a five, but still working in a back four in our warm-up.
That's brilliant, because I always watch the warm-up and go, oh, they're playing in a four today. But if you're chucking in a little dummy.
We have done that before.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Is there quite a lot of mind games going on then? For me, I'd get so confused where to look, but we see it. You know, Klopp used to stand at the middle of the pitch, but do you have a few little mind games then, up your sleeve?
Not really. Our analysts will watch all of the opposition warm-up. If we're unsure on personnel, or might be an option of two shapes and who's going to play where, I think we get a little bit of insight, unless they're playing our cards like we said. But yeah, just reinforces things. If you're stuck between, it might be one of two things, you can obviously potentially get that insight during the warm-up.
Yeah, it was an interesting one last year. I remember a game where we had Kieran on Town TV. He was going to speak to us before, and they chucked in a completely different team. And he said, "Oh, sorry, cancel that." And he had to quickly go and go, "Oh, they're playing them, so we're going to do something differently." So it is a bit reactive sometimes when you get a team sheet, I imagine.
Yeah, no, it can be. And we play Newcastle next week, and they've just changed their manager. We don't know who their new manager's going to be yet. So we obviously are preparing to play a team based on what we've seen over the last 6 games, and that could look absolutely totally different in the first 10 minutes. So. Yeah, not easy.
Who'd be a manager, hey Joe? Right, before we head over to Ollie Wilson and Westy on commentary, let's just get a quick score prediction. Westy, I'll come to you first.
3-1.
3-1. Joe?
2-1.
2-1. Right, a reminder that international supporters in selected regions can watch today's game with a £10 match pass. Town TV subscribers, we're going to send you with the good guys, Ollie Wilson and Ian Westlake. All that's left for me to do is thank you for watching at home. Joe, all the best next week and for the rest of the season. Westy, no doubt I'll see your face very, very soon. And to Flexamise, our sponsors. And good luck to Town's own Fabio Wardley tonight as he knocks out Joseph Parker. We'll see you next week.
Did you know racist abuse can lead to up to 5 years imprisonment under the UK law?
Fans found guilty of racial abuse face being banned from football grounds for 10 years.
Did you know last season there were 141 incidents of racism in the stadiums across the EFL?
There were more than 5,000 reported incidents of online abuse towards players during the 2024-25 season, almost double the season before.
Approximately 900 players were subjected to online abuse last season.
In the 2024-25 season, 27 supporters of EFL clubs received football banning orders and 17 fans were banned from their club grounds for discriminatory behaviour. Football is for everyone.
Just like football, business moves fast. And when you need funding, there's no time to wait. At Flexamise, we keep things simple. No penalties, no red cards, just fast, flexible business loans. We only ask for the essentials and you'll get a decision within 24 hours. Once approved, the funds are in your account the same day. Flexamise, let's fund your goals.
It's a new season, a new challenge, a new home, some new faces, the same support.
The Pesket is there on the follow-up to make it 3.
We need you again. Let's do this together.
When we started this, did we ever think we'd have a partnership with a football club? Absolutely not. This is beyond our wildest dreams. We pretty much exclusively hire graduates at Halo. We're very proud of our Suffolk roots. Halo's a pretty passionate, positive, enthusiastic place generally, but when you've also got what's going on at the football club, and it's just blending passion and enthusiasm.